Alright, so this is my no wrong warp TAS. Basically, we don't wrong warp or use super swimming or anything like that. We try to grab all the instruments in a semi-normal order. This is the console verification by Kevin. I'm just watching the video. I'm gonna do some semi-good commentary over it. Alright, so the fastest way to get into a file is just to get a one character name. I chose one of 4 characters that you can get without losing time. Here we're going to mash through this opening cutscene so that we can actually play the game. Terran would stop you at the door, so we have to talk to him to get the shield. So we just talk to him from all the way down here, because diagonal movement's kind of slower than... diagonal movement's better than going left and then going down, you know. About 25% slower to walk diagonally. He told me to use a shield. So we use a lot of left plus right inputs in this task. One effect is weird item effects. And the shield, you get a weird hitbox with it when you use left plus right, so we can boost off of enemies and such to get shield boosts. Shield boosts are like 10% faster. Damage boosting off enemies is about 25% faster. So we use the up plus down shield hitbox here to grab it from all the way across the screen. So we skip the owl cutscene that would normally play there and waste a lot of time. That cutscene's still loaded permanently, so until we watch it, but not a problem. So we save warp back to the house, and we're gonna go to the shop, but we need 10 rupees to buy the bombs, and we dupe every rupee that lands on the ground by shielding on a particular frame. So we have to go through one cycle where he's complaining at us for stealing. So this is not a deathless run, but deathless is kind of relevant for speedruns. We actually use a save and quit menu to buy the item without a text box. Saves a little time there. So yeah, manipulate a shield boost off this guy. Shield boost off these guys. We go into this house to set up our next save warp. By going into a house, you choose where you're gonna save warp, pretty much, or spawn in next time. So here we did a bomb trigger. By planting a bomb within 4 frames of 2 bombs within 4 frames of each other, you can pretty much force cutscenes to load. We use the screen transition, pits, or left press right bombs to plant them off screen rapidly. You need to manage the sprite slot in a particular way to get bomb triggers to work. So, in a couple places we have to kill enemies so that it works properly. Like that moblin has to die or else this bomb trigger won't work. We actually bomb trigger and leave the screen at the same time so that we can get up here. Otherwise you'd warp to a different screen as part of the puzzle. So we get past Terran without powdering him or using the moblin skip. Save warp back to Meow Meow's house. We're gonna go to D1. Shield boost across this pit. You can't really pit walk in this game like you can in Oracle of Ages or Seasons, because you get some weird stuff. You can unlock those key blocks just by rubbing against the side of them, and it's gonna save some time in D3. So yeah, Stalfos are really scared of shields. Some damage boost here. His diagonal walking's pretty slow. Only need a couple keys for this dungeon, but yeah. We're just gonna go get the feather as quickly as possible because we need it for the rest of the game, pretty much. So, up, push down shenanigans here, kill them fast. In these 2D sections, you can shield boost from anywhere on the screen, so it makes it look like he's jumping. So yeah, tail feather, or Brock's feather as quickly as possible. Save warp. So because we got the bow, we can quickly kill this Rolling Bones mini boss. These chest text boxes you can skip with the save and quit menu, though you have to wait 5 frames. Weird sound there, but we killed this guy instantly. We're gonna be doing a super jump. By being clipped into a wall or a subject to perfect clipless method, you can make the game think you're leaping off the wall just by facing the correct direction. And you can clink off of enemies, so you can redirect where you're gonna fall. So we can actually transition up through the wall. So we did a D1 key skip and boss skip within like 5 seconds. And the beeping messes up this cutscene a little, which kind of sounds kind of funny. So we got a slow owl text box here, but we can't really sprite unload or bomb trigger them out of the way. Really impressed that we got the first cutscene somehow. So there's a feature in this game called Piece of Power. It'll give you about a 25% speed boost, but it's pretty slow for a task because you need 30 kills to get it to work, or to get it to spawn. We manipulate some hearts on the way to D2 so we can damage boost a few times in the forest. Tubba and Bubba complain at me about the dog being kidnapped. And he will stay kidnapped for the rest of the run. Because we don't need him. It might be faster to find out for yourself. Don't need to tell me twice. Nice duped heart there. So when you damage boost, you can actually jump at the last frame to prolong the damage boost. And if you soar just before landing on the ground, you can get another damage boost jump. So we can get across the screen with 2 damage boost jumps, and save about 20 frames in total. Which is a pretty fun trick. Alright, so this is the fastest way to get powder. We're gonna bomb trigger the witch to get the powder from her instantly. Normally you need to turn into Toadstool, which is an item that is too slow to go get. This is the fastest way to get powder for this task. Perfect menu there. Skip the last text box. Another damage boost here. We're gonna flop clip through this rock here. By pushing it in a corner, it would actually push us over a little bit when we trigger the text box. So we get through there without having to pick it up. We're digging up a bunch of items here with luck manipulation so that we can prevent that flower that would be at the bottom there from spawning. Basically, rupees, hearts, powder, bombs, and arrows are priority items that wouldn't allow the next screen to load a sprite if they were all filled up. We needed powder so that we could get past that first puzzle. A super jump and clink off screen here will, or clink out of bounds will actually get us through the wall there without having to get a key. So these 2D sections, every time you jump you get boosted a pixel, so try to jump as much as we can. We use this mini boss to super jump and boost through the wall here. Dumb idiot, never knew what was coming. So yeah, this room, the boot buddies need to be killed or go off screen in order to spawn this chest. So we just shoot them off screen as fast as possible. This super jump here, you need to super jump at the last frame and use a menu. Otherwise you just land in a pit instead of landing on the blocks. Damage boost there. We're gonna use a Stalfos to super jump into the next room. And skip the boss for this dungeon. So we got the conch horn, so we're not gonna be fighting any bosses this run because we can skip them all. But in 100% TAS, I will be fighting them all. And there's some pretty cool swag you can do with this dungeon boss in particular, where he throws his... Alright, so these plants, you can just clip them to the top of the wall and jump past them. Like you can clip 3 pixels into a wall just by walking into the corner of it. We don't get a damage boost here because like we can get 2 damage boosts and save more time. Otherwise you lose a whole heart to that guy. Took about an hour to manipulate this Octorok to shoot us there, but we got it done. So on our way to D3, just blow up this rock to get out of the way. Stab him for good luck. The sword is really useful for RNG manipulation because every time you stab the sword you change the RNG seed. It's an RNG color every time you use a sword. So we can actually positively manipulate RNG. So we landed in a pit and used the menu at the same time, so it clips you 2 pixels down, so we can actually transition on a pit tile and skip the whole quest. So we got the D3 key without the gold leaf quest, so it's not loaded properly because of how it's coded, but we got it anyway, so. Sword swag here. Yeah, clipping at the top of this block here, we can use the key from the backside. Pretty useful. So you can skip the opening text box of a dungeon just by menuing. Menuing itself isn't faster, but it's cheaper that way. So we're gonna super jump off this gel into the second part of the dungeon, saving a good chunk of time. So we're gonna super jump off this Dodongo snake to get in here. My favorite item. So you can super dash with up plus down inputs and get crazy speed boost with the boot, which we call super dashing. Super jump off that guy, super jump off that guy, and here we are. So in this next overworld section, we're gonna sprite unload this owl so that we don't get a long cutscene. And by using the sword during the shovel animation, we can manipulate any drop we need to. But all we need is either heart or rupee, so we don't need to manipulate a specific item. Plus, you can actually change which direction you're facing using the sword, so it helps out. Use some items there because we don't have enough space to do all the things. So yeah, super dashing pretty quick. So we're gonna go get the D4 key. So the fastest way to the village is to bomb boost off this guy. Pretty precise trick, but we get across the river fairly easily. So we're gonna sprite unload the walrus. You can bomb trigger him, it's just very slow and you're partially soft locked. So we just do that. So we got a very difficult mini boss coming up, so I'm gonna shut up. Already did. So we get the key pretty easily. We're gonna go next to this next screen. By super dashing at like the top of this warp without going into it, you can transition up. So we're into the Armless Maze. The tile sets are correct, except for the sprites, so it's not breaking any rules here. At least my own rules. So we use a shield to bump them out of the way, which is the fastest way in there. So this boss gives us the D6 key, and the fastest way to kill him is with the sword dashes. We can't bump into the wall or else we'll cause some lag here, so try not to bump into the wall. This is a frame rule dependent event here, so we could have been 2 pixels further down, but didn't really work out this way. So we can't shield bump him on the way out because of a slow equip at the end. So we can only damage boost past this guy. We clip into the top of the wall here to get past this guy. Super dash there. So we only have 1 heart, but we need 2.5 hearts for the next damage boost coming up. So I have to kill this bomb fairy to get some health. Lost a tiny bit of time here. So by menuing as you land on the water, you can actually Jesus jump or walk for 1 frame. So we can actually use it to transition. It's the same thing as the Villa skip. And that's why we have the damage boost through there. So D6, pretty deconstructed dungeon order in this run, but fastest way according to overworld movement and which items you get. So we're going to use this gel here to super jump through the wall. Skip a redundant section of this dungeon. This is a pretty RNG intensive puzzle there, but we just manipulated it to be first try. We need those bombs. We only lost one frame to grab them, but they're necessary, so. You normally can't jump holding these pots, but try to entertain while we're waiting for stuff to advance here. You can't really bomb trigger this guy to work faster, so that's why we had to wait there for that tile to be jumping at us. Yeah, to super jump off that section saved a little bit of time because we didn't have to go up the stairs, which would have been pretty slow. So in this next screen, we're going to be bomb triggering L, save some time there, and we're going to be doing a ton of Jesus jumps. Every Jesus jump actually clips you like 3 pixels down, so we can actually get inside of the wall to stand on. So we can do a super dash jump and save a couple menus. By saving quit menuing while jumping here, you can actually redirect where you're going to land. Save a chunk of time there. Like normally you'd fall straight down there. Alright, so yeah. Jesus jump there, super dash jump up. So we're going to D5 now. So yeah, by Jesus jumping at that particular spot, and when you transition, the game wants to put you into a falling animation. So it actually puts you at the warp location, so you go into D5 instantly. So yeah, we boost off that guy. More side-scrolling section. Super jump off this Stalfos to get in the instrument room. There is a skip for these instrument cutscenes in LADX. You have to use the ocarina and toadstool at the same time, so you can force the game to... So you can actually grant yourself the ability to save and quit, but it's slower for this TAS. Not even faster in English. So Jesus jump here to get through this block there. We're gonna Jesus jump into the bottom of this cutscene, bottom of the screen, so we can super jump off it. It just looks like we're standing on the hearts. Looks pretty funny. Super jump and boost off that gel. We get into the bird queue room. A lot of these caves are connected, so we can traverse these caves very easily with super jumps. Boost off that guy. So now we get into the Tall Toe Mountain area. So we're gonna go to D7 now. Because we entered from the bottom, this cutscene doesn't really load properly, but it still works properly. It's a pretty puzzle-intensive dungeon here, but super jumps and bomb triggers, we can get past them pretty easily. Get that crystal rock. Yeah, we had to get rid of that towel right there. We have to kill this gel or else the bomb trigger won't work properly. First pit trigger and only pit trigger. And that's the last pillar, so we get this 3rd floor collapses and we can go up there properly now. Just gonna super jump through this wall here. Say hi. Bye. Alright, so we're gonna be on the 3rd floor. Frame perfect jump there to avoid taking damage. So when we super jump there, we can actually bounce off the Goomba and get through the wall pretty easily there. And we super dash through the top of that warp so that we can get into this room. I don't even remember what this instrument's called. Alright, so yeah, we gotta go to D4 now. The fastest way is to use this water cave that has a heart in it, but we just Jesus jump to the bottom. There is a cool alternate route to D4. You do a ton of Jesus jumps to be on the top part of that screen, but it's very slow to do all those Jesus jumps. So we just do this overworld movement instead by super jumping past the cliff. A little offset from the keyhole. Like if your Jesus jumps, you'd be at the top part of that screen, and you could just trigger the keyhole from the back. Just very slow. Out of bounds to get past that rock there. Super dash to the top of that screen. We're in the second part of the dungeon now. Just gonna head to the boss room. Another super jump. And we're into the cutscene instrument room. So now we have to go to D8. Some pretty inconvenient overworld movement, but necessary. Use that super jump there, get through the wall. Just do a lot of super jump, super dash jumps, get to the left pretty quickly. One of the fastest ways to get through the screen is to the left. Pretty annoying rock here because we have to equip. Another owl I can't get rid of because we already beat D6. Go east! We have to go west actually. Just click to the bottom of this wall so we can get into the next cave system. We did some sword slashes there to change some RNG for the sprite overflow coming up. Just a little bit better RNG. You can actually super dash through corners like that. It's just only top left corners. Because we don't have to soar, these manips are a little more annoying, but got rid of that dragon head or whatever it is. There's some super jumps. Get up here. Or super dash jumps. Super jump here. We have to bomb through this wall. So yeah, gonna super dash to that wall. We need these bombs here, so just grab them real fast. And the D8 instrument. So we got them all. Now we just gotta go to Windfish, Egg. Yeah, the goal of this task was to grab all the instruments in a semi-normal order without wrong warping or doing crazy out-of-bounds stuff. Like the out-of-bounds stuff we do keeps the rooms and their graphical tile sets loaded properly. Just sprites get messed up sometimes. So yeah, now we're on our way to the D8, or Windfish cutscene. Gotta go through the swamp, get past that flower pretty easily. Get to that rock there. This is a redundant bomb trigger, it doesn't lose any time, but we make the wrong music play here, so it's kind of funny. So yeah, the Windfish cutscene, pretty nice. We can't really bomb trigger this at all, because we only got like one frame to do it, but it doesn't matter. if you were to visit the library with the Lens of Truth, you'd get like 3 or 4 different combinations of patterns to go through this here. But if you never look at the library, it's always a default pattern. So we just do this. Because we bomb trigger this boss to spawn instantly, we don't get any music the rest of the run, or the rest of the fight, but it doesn't matter, it's just a little harder to keep things entertaining. Frame perfect swords there so that we can kill that boss without powder. So Aghanim here, normally he'd unmorph and then remorph at a different spot on the screen, but by bomb triggering him, he just remorphs instantly or something. So we kill him in a way that he'll die at the middle of the screen where he's supposed to spawn as Moldorm. And we don't get any blue balls because we manipulate. Like, it's... if you're on an even or odd X pixel, you have to... you'll either do a blue ball or a regular ball. Killed Moldorm, pretty easy boss there. Say Ganon. These fire bats are pretty annoying. Like, they home in on you very precisely. And a bomb trigger actually prevented the last boss from spawning correctly. So he just dies instantly. Because he thinks there's 2 of them or something. Pretty funny bomb juggle there. Alright, so RTA would have already been done by now, but because this is TAS, we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds of text mashing for the credits to play. Hoot, young lad, I mean thief. Like I said, you can't impress everybody when you're saving the world like this. Got places to be. Then you, thief, came to the island. Thank you, thief. Goodbye, thief. See you around, thief. The Legend of Zelda, Space Whales. I am the Space Whale. I've been asleep for 27 minutes. And this is TAS timing right here, last input. So the credit's gonna play out normally now. Because this wasn't a deathless run, we don't get the Easter egg at the end, but it doesn't really matter. Deathless is kind of irrelevant for speedruns of this game, at least in my opinion. So yeah, credit's gonna play out normally now. At least Taran got to die in one of his, or disappear in one of his mushroom trips. And there goes the island. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Cutscene's gonna play. And credit's gonna play out normally. Alright, thanks for watching.